basis of all political discussion revolves on a line. One side represents the right, one side represents the left. This is the easiest way to understand how politics works, and this understanding is essential for meaningful political discussion. Without this understanding, politics revolve into a yelling match between two parties, where whoever yells louder is the ultimate victor. I personally lean right. However, I do have liberal beliefs as I live in New York City. For example, I do believe in tax cuts, however, I believe in abortion rights as well. I will try my best to remain nonpartisan for the entire video as my beliefs honestly aren't strong and I could care less. On the political spectrum, one side are the conservatives. The further you go down, the closer you are to anarchy. This method of running the government, quote unquote, is the most primitive and can be equated to animals running around and hunting. Not very good, to be honest, and I'm sure everyone can agree on that. On the other side of the spectrum are the liberals. The closer you are down the spectrum, the closer you are to a completely authoritarian rule. Imagine 1984 by George Orwell, where the government has control over all aspects of life. This is not very good either, and I believe that you would agree on that as well. Now you may ask, where are we on the spectrum? Many people would say we are somewhere in the middle, but nobody really knows. This is where free speech comes in. The reason why free speech exists is not because our founding fathers were nice people, but they understood that by having the public debate on major political topics, we could reach policies that address where we are on the political spectrum. If we are too conservative, we create an economy driven by robber barons. If we are too liberal, we create a society that is communist and don't have the funds to support its citizens when its economy crumbles. Now, this may seem obvious to many people, but what they have to understand is that protests and yelling do not help us pinpoint where we are on the political spectrum. It muddies the waters and confuses casual viewers of politics, which is very bad for our economy. Now, let me explain how we pinpoint where we are on the political spectrum. One word: money. Money determines where we are on the spectrum. The amount of capital that is produced by a country is what determines where we are on the political spectrum. What then determines how much money a country produces? Technology and innovation. Now, how is the amount of money a country makes relevant to where the country stands on the political spectrum? When a country's economy is not doing well, there will be conservative policies put in place that improve the economy and promote such growth. This is widely accepted as presidents such as Reagan and Trump have stimulated the economy and the state has grown with impressive numbers. Some may bring up FDR and say that he brought back the economy with big government that supplied everyone with jobs. This is true, however, correlation does not equal causation. At the beginning of his presidency, his big government policies did not have a profound impact that did occur during the second half of his presidency. The reason why the economy boomed during his presidency is World War II, and if you cannot accept that, I don't know what to tell you. Liberal policies, on the other hand, support stability once the state is content with their capital. This does not mean that your capital will stay the same. It will take a sharp nosedive during the beginning years of the policy change. An example would be Finland, where they lost billions of dollars by changing from a capitalist economy to a socialist economy. A switch to a socialist economy would only work if a country's capital is well above that which is necessary and they are willing to trade capital gain for a stable economy. This could happen in the next 50 years, next 200, or never. Socialist change in theory should never occur in the span of a few years. The reason why there are countries with socialist forms of government are because of these yellers. They yell louder than the opposition, and their country faces the consequences. Where you lean in politics is where you believe the country is on the political spectrum. We should refrain from shouting matches between two extreme points of view, but rather engage in more meaningful debate, as if one extremist side shouts louder than the other, we will be in a world of hurt. Thank you for watching the basis of all political discussions explained. This is simply my opinion and how I view politics. You are free to disagree with me in the comments. I am also looking for a Democratic Ben Shapiro because currently all Republican arguments trump Democratic arguments.